Assalamu alaikum. Today is July 12th, 2020. 114 days are left till the US presidential elections. These 114 days will define our destiny and will define who we are and how we should act. One would ask and could ask why and how. Let me come back to that point in one of the future discussions. First, let's talk about the current situation and where do we stand as Shias. From what I see, and I've been saying this with a group of people, and other people have been saying this for months now, and I hope and pray that I am wrong. But we are preoccupied with the non transformational items in our lives. We focus so much energy on social media without taking any true benefit, without making the world a better place, without changing ourselves. Quarantine hasn't helped this situation, other than us being more preoccupied with social media and talking about non value added items. What change have we brought about in our lives and in the lives of the others? I do not talk about anyone else. I put myself in this situation and ask myself, and I do not see anything value added coming out of this quarantine, which is a shame. We are on a cusp of a major catastrophe in the United States. Just yesterday, there were 70,000 new coronavirus cases reported in the United States. On average, we are now seeing more than 60,000 cases every day. This Amrullah, as we have discussed many times, is not going away. It is accelerating with force. It is now killing young people. It is ravaging the fabric of the American society. Other than the social impact that we know of, there are several areas which have changed the lives of people forever. For example, first, students who come from other countries to study in the United States are being required to go back to their countries if their classes have been switched to online only. Second, workers who are hoping to find employment in the United States will not be given visas. Unemployment filings continue at an alarming pace, where people are losing jobs every week in millions. Lives of hundreds and thousands of humans are at stake in the Sun Belt states as the ICUs reach full capacity, 100% plus increase in the use of ventilators. Further, the impact of virus are very far reaching than initially thought. They could change the society and the health, underlying health of the society. And lastly, or not lastly, but fifth example is it won't be long before the economy is forced to shut down, which will have another series of implications. The worst part is that all of this is happening before our own eyes and of all the Americans, but they are being ignored. These signs are being ignored. The dangers are being ignored. Amrullah is continuing, but people are thinking it's just going to go away. Exactly what Dr. Hatem said during the sessions that we had in May and April, March, April timeframe. Federal Reserves has managed to keep the asset prices higher, but what happens when the time of reckoning comes? While all of this is happening in the United States, the situation around the world is much worse. People are begging for oxygen in countries like Pakistan and they couldn't find oxygen. As we have been saying, these are not no ordinary times. This is an Amrullah. If we don't know what is meant by Amrullah, I would highly recommend listening to the series that Dr. Hatim had in April-May timeframe. Since mid-April, we got 2 to 3 months to prepare for the second round of difficult times. But what have we done? Are we now more spiritual, more caring towards one another? And my guess for the majority of the people is we have done nothing, including myself. We got active in March during the lockdown, and then as the economy started opening up and people started getting their stimulus checks, the issue became cold and we went quiet. Apart from the virus, let me ask what have we done in the following two instances? Recently, an elderly Muslim man was killed in cold blood in Kashmir by Indian occupying forces in front of his 3-year-old grandson. And the grandson was telling the story how he saw the soldiers shot his father, who bled to the death, and the boy was sitting on the dead body of the grandfather, crying, pleading to wake up, get up. And second, did we raise our voice for Sheikh Zakzaki, who is held in jail in Nigeria for years while 6 of his 7 sons were killed? If we did not do anything in these two examples, it is nothing new. We have remained silent many a times before in the recent past. It is our second nature to be quiet and see the world fall deep into difficulty. We do not stand with Haq, neither do we do Amr bil Maruf wa Nahy al Munkar. Imam Ali alayhi salam has said, and if we did not recommend doing good and express displeasure against and try to stop the bad, Allah will put upon us tyrants, and at that time prayers will not be accepted. However, now is not the time to say stay quiet. We are a different generation. The times are different. The virus is a great equalizer. One doesn't need a platform to be a speaker, one just needs courage to stand up against injustice. And that's why the next 114 days are important. We need to unite and raise the voice and stand for justice and haq. If we can carry the message in these elections, the world will listen. If we remain quiet, the light of hope will extinguish again. Virus is a sign of Allah. We now should channel our energies towards change rather than just talking about non essential and non transformational items. I will continue this discussion on our current state with examples of where we kept quiet in the next part. Assalamu alaikum.